Hi, I'm Jeff, and I love VHS tapes. And you know what I really dislike? DVDs. Did this silly little small series called DVDrinking series. And basically the whole gist of it was me making fun of DVDs because of how much they drive me crazy. And I'll get to all that in a moment. But this, I figured, is just a quick little intro to bring any of my viewers up to speed who may not have seen any of my previous DVD drinking shows or is unfamiliar with it. So, quick little history is I've always been a huge, avid VHS collector. I've always been a massive fan of VHS tapes and a lot of older movies and horror movies and the box artwork and stuff like that. Basically, I've always just, it's always been a norm for me. Like, I'm not just a collector in the sense of I purpose to go out of my way to get VHS tapes. I've just always had them. I've always enjoyed them. I've always liked them. I've always wanted to view movies on that format, because some movies look better and they tend to just kind of have this sort of better aura to them viewing it on a VHS tape, like older movies or foreign movies or black and white movies or horror movies. So that's basically just kind of my feelings on VHS tapes. To the reason why I decided to do this show, or more so the reason why I decided to bring back this show, is because I grew up in an era where I was old enough to appreciate the older movies, older music, older formats, such as cassette tape, which is what we were just listening to a moment ago. I'm even a fan of 8 tracks, which is like well beyond my time. And obviously, huge fan of the VHS, video cassette tape. Or I'm sorry, the VCR, video cassette recorder. VHS actually stands for video. It was, well, there's the video home system, but there was also, there's a term, like, I can't remember what it is. It's like helix or hydronium or some weird, like, science term. And it's like video, that, and then the S, I think, also stood for something else. Obviously, I don't know what the, I don't know offhand. Like, I don't remember. I'm probably just gonna fucking cut this out. I sound like an asshole. Anyhow, the point I'm making is I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little, just brief history of what I like to collect, why I like to collect it. And getting back to the point of DVDs, I grew up in an era when that was, I guess, my teenage years, my young teenage years going into my mid-teenage years. DVDs were all the rage back in the 2000s. Late 90s, early 2000s, you would buy a VHS movie or rent a VHS movie, and there'd be commercials for DVD. And I still remember them like it was yesterday. The DVD, and it was all like intense and in your face, and like they had explosions and like people fucking and like, you know, cars, or there's like crazy car chase scenes, and there's like all this shit going on.
DVD. And this is what happens when you watch DVD. It's a movie on a disc the size of a CD. The picture is twice as sharp as VHS. The sound is infinitely clearer. It looks and sounds like you're at the movies, but you can experience it at home. Not watch a movie right on your computer. And rent or buy DVDs from these great Hollywood studios. DVD. See how good a movie at home can be. With over 3,000 titles to choose from, make sure you see your next movie on DVD. Yeah.
And they were really pumping up the sound. They were really pumping up like the clarity and the clear, you know, how clear they could make it. Like you could see the zit on top of a pimple on top of fucking somebody's forehead, which is really what makes the movie so much better. People don't realize that. That's why Blu-rays are around, and now they have 4K Blu-rays. But I'm going to wait for the 8K. I think you're actually going to be able to see the dimple on a zit, on a dick, on somebody's nose. Like you're actually going to see a penis on somebody's nose. They're getting so good with the detail. It's amazing. I had no idea that RoboCop was actually RoboCock. But when you watch it on VHS, you can't tell that it's a cock. You just think it's a human. But the Blu-ray technology made it so fucking detailed that it's like, holy shit, that is a penis. So anyway, I just remember the advertising being really ridiculous, and I remember it being really in my face, and I remember it made you feel like a fucking idiot for buying, for getting the VHS, for renting the VHS, and I never understood that, because it should have just been like, if you want a DVD, you should have the option to get it, but you should not, it should not be shoved down your throat, because there's a lot of VHS that I have from the mid to late 90s that have these like 20-minute DVD commercials. I mean, they were long. Like they were, some of them are like 5, 6, 7 minutes. That's a long time for an advertisement about another format. But at the same time, they were trying to get it into people's homes. They were trying to push it, tell people about it. And, you know, there was a lot that needed to be, there was a lot of advertisement, and there was a lot of work that needed to be put into it, because obviously back in the 80s you had laser discs. There was also another form that I always forget about. The disc actually came in a giant square like plastic container, and then you would stick the container into the player, and then the plastic part would pop out, the disc would stay in the machine, would play, and then that would keep it from getting dirty, dented, fingerprints, stuff like that, scratched. And then to take the movie out, you'd put the plastic sleeve back in the machine and pop it back out. I can't remember what that was called, but I'm going to make sure that I do my research and have all this information for you guys the next video, and I'll also put links in the description below, the comment section below the video. Below. So, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, as time went on, the VHS obviously defeated the VHS, VCR format. And before we knew it, the DVD was kind of the next big thing. But it wasn't too long, because it was about, I'd say, the mid-2000s maybe, that HD DVD came out. So it's like, they knew that the DVDs weren't that good, and they knew that the format really wasn't that great. But they were like, fuck it, we're just going to come out with HDs now, and then everyone's going to jump on that. And then next thing you know, around the corner is Blu-ray. And then it's like, what? Everybody's just supposed to jump on that? And now, I think maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, the 4K ultraviolet Blu-ray came out. Like, how many words are they going to keep adding on? Is that supposed to make me want to buy it? Now it's ultraviolet. Oh, now it's 4K. Holy shit. Like, what other colors are they going to throw in there? How about ultra orange? I love the color orange. Can we get the word orange on some video format at some point before I die? So getting back to the DVDs, long before all these other crazy newer versions came out, you know, HD, clear and stuff, you had the DVD format. And as many know, the DVD format was actually not that good. But when you look at Blu-ray and you look at, you know, Ultra 4K and you look at some of these other formats, and even if you look at Laserdisc and the video discs and stuff like that, and of course there was Beta, you can't forget about Beta, they had marketing and they had commercials and they had advertisements, and there was definitely a lot of advertisements put into those formats. But I don't know if it was because it was the 2000s and it was a new millennia, or it was a new like decade, or it was just something new. Like we were no longer in the 1900s, now we're in the 2000s. But everything that came out in the early 2000s, like from candy to snack foods to like food chains and like all kinds of stuff like that, like clothing and like certain brands, everything was just so extreme and just so like in your face. Like personally, that the DVD format was way too aggressive, way too rushed, and way too pushed up the consumer's asshole. To the extent that I just feel like it should not have been pushed that much, because I have proof of it. And that's why I'm doing the DVD drinking show. Because I'm going to show you guys some early 2000s DVDs, some late 90s DVDs, and obviously some mid-2000 DVDs made by various companies. And yes, some of the ones I'm going to show you over the course of the show, you could argue and say, oh, well, that's a low-brand DVD, or that's a company that, you know, backdoor this or this thing or that thing. But you know what, though? It was the same thing for the VHS format. It was the same thing for Beta. It was the same thing for Laserdisc. Same thing for cassettes. Same thing for 8-tracks. Same thing for vinyl records. There was high-end companies that produced high-end equipment, and there was low-end companies that produced low-end equipment. But the point I'm trying to make is if it's a better format and it's a stronger format, shouldn't it just be better? If it's marketed that it's better, shouldn't it be better? If it is told to us in these commercials where explosions are coming out of your screen and blowing you back in your chair, and they're showing like the guy's popcorn go up in the air, then that's what I want to happen when I put in a damn DVD into my DVD player. That's what I want to see. And over the course of this show, I'm going to be showing you guys various DVDs, mostly horror, but a few other, you know, genres and stuff, to give you guys a taste of what real DVDs are like, regardless of who made it, regardless of where it came from. Now, of course, none of it's going to be burned, none of it's going to be any kind of backdoor shenanigans like that. This is all product that I purchased either at a store physically or on a website, and it's a legit actual DVD like these that you see right here that you would buy in a store or from a, you know, website, selling website, whatever. Most of them were brand new when I bought them. Very few were used. So obviously they're all going to be working and in very good working condition. And obviously I'll go over the details as the show goes on if there's a particular DVD that maybe has a scratch or something on it. But that's not the stuff I'm going to be focusing on. I'm mostly going to be focusing on the DVD content, the menus, the special editions, the special features, the animated menus, all that cool stuff. That's the stuff that was marketed about DVD. It's different now. Your menus come to life. Your credits are in your face. You get director commentary, producer commentary, actor commentary, your grandmom's commentary, the dude next door who's creepy's commentary. You get everything. So that's exactly what I am going to be focusing on for the DVD drinking reviews. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm Jeff. I'm a VHS collector, and I'm also a DVD collector. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate DVDs. I want to like them. I want to understand them, and I want you guys to understand them too. So together, we'll journey through my DVD library until I don't have any more left, or the show gets stale and gets canceled. But either way, we're going to travel together, and we're going to check out Jeff's DVD drinking series. Come on with me.